Hi, I'm Davida and welcome to Dee's Knees. This is my story of my journey to simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements and beyond. I'm 55 years old. I work as a doctor. I'm a mum of 3 girls, one of whom is only 11 and still at home. I have Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, which is a condition which affects the nerve endings, causing muscle weakness. Due to this, I have put abnormal forces through my knees and my joints in general, which hasn't helped. I've always known for the last few years that I have wear and tear arthritis. I had some pain in my knees whilst walking up and down stairs particularly, or up and down hills, and yet it didn't really stop me. I'm pretty active. I have enjoyed yoga most days for the last few years. I can ride a bike and enjoy riding with my friends and calling in at the odd pub, etc. for a cheeky glass of wine. And I have enjoyed camping holidays with my family and my friends and generally haven't been too impaired by it. I had a lovely summer. I went to France twice and enjoyed being out and about, climbing to castles on hills, enjoying watching Wales beat Australia in the Rugby World Cup group matches in the south of France, and just enjoying my best life. It wasn't long after that, at the end of September, that I developed a very acutely swollen left knee, which was so painful I could hardly sleep. I rested it for a little while and it was getting worse rather than better. I saw a GP and had some x-rays taken, and to cut a long story short, my right knee started to play up very soon after this, and I was seen by an orthopaedic surgeon within a few weeks, and he said basically I had end-stage osteoarthritis in both my knees and needed new knees bilaterally. I had done some reading and watched other people's video diaries and comments on Facebook groups and realised people were having both knees done together. And this made so much sense to me. I didn't think I would want to go through the process once, recover, and then start again. So I went to see the surgeon thinking I would have to fight to have both knees done together. And basically he started the consultation setting out why it made sense to have both knees done together. That was a huge relief. And now, nearly 4 months later, I am 4 sleeps away from my simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements. In the interim period, I have tried to maintain the strength in my legs, which isn't particularly easy due to pain, but also to the weakness that I already have. So I have been riding a stationary bike, just an ordinary bike, not an exercise bike, that you can fit into a gadget which essentially turns it into a stationary bike. And I have been going to some aqua aerobics classes, which I found really great, being able to exercise your joints and your legs in the safety of water. However, unfortunately, because I was still working, I didn't get to as many of these as I'd have liked to. I had some exercises given to me by physiotherapists, and if you, like me, have searched the internet, you will find many people, including physiotherapists, demonstrating the types of exercise that we need to do to maintain our quad strength and prepare ourselves for knee replacement surgery. I'll go through some of those with you now. Okay. So range of movement is really important after the surgery, and that means getting the most extension you can get of your knees and also the most flexion. So to prepare for making sure you get the best extension and also activating your quadriceps muscles, which are these big muscles at the front of the thigh. I use a rolled up towel underneath my knees, and then basically engaging the quad muscle, just pressing down into the towel and almost hyperextending your knees if possible. My heels come up off the ground, which is a marker of the fact that I have straightened my knees completely. This is quite painful for my knees, and I can do perhaps 10 and then have a break, and the same on each side. Also, to activate your quadriceps muscles, to sit with one knee bent and your weight behind you on your hands, and then to lift your leg, again powering your quadriceps muscle, to bring your knee parallel with the other knee and relax. And again, if you do sets of 10 and repeat perhaps 2 or 3 sets each side to engage the quadriceps muscle. Again, it depends how much pain you have. These are hurting me today, but some days are better than others. To engage your muscles and control the movement. And when I get to about 20, again, I try to do some little pulses. Again for a count of 20. Next in my routine, I straighten out my lower knee, and I'm sure all you knee sufferers will understand that that's not always easy. And I bend up my top knee. And then I lift my lower leg, making sure the movement is nice and controlled. I then try to do a flexion exercise again. So I take hold of my heel or my forefoot in my hand, and I bend my knee and pull my foot backwards. And this is a really good stretch for your hip and thigh muscles. So it's a hip flexion stretch, if your hip flexor stretch. And again, I pull my heel as close to my bottom as I can, and I pull my knee and my thigh slightly backwards, and also try to maintain a straight spine so that there's a nice stretch all the way down my spine and the front of my thigh. And I hold that for about a minute if I can. And again, some days this is easier than other days. And then releasing is also sometimes painful, and you have to do this really carefully. Moving on, again, back to doing some gluteal muscle strengthening, is a bridge pose. So we lie on our back. Again, we bring our feet close up to our bottoms and slightly tilt your pelvis so that your base of your spine is flat on the ground, and then slowly lift your bottom and your hips off the ground, engaging your core by pulling your tummy in at the same time. I won't look at the camera because actually it's best not to twist your neck during this exercise, but squeeze your bottom and squeeze your thighs. And again, I like to hold for about a minute. Sometimes if I'm feeling strong, I will try to lift one leg up without dropping my bottom too much. And then the same on the other side. I find that quite hard. And then slowly lower. And again, I would aim to do about 5 to 10 reps, but sometimes that's easier than others, as I'm sure you understand. The last exercise I do is a core strength exercise, and again, starting off in the same position, pressing your lower back into the mat and engaging your tummy muscles, lifting your knees just up above your hips, keeping your knees flexed, and you should be able to feel the contraction in your core muscles. This can get harder by slightly extending your legs till they're almost straight, trying to maintain the contact between your lower back and the mat. And then I also like to actually lift my arms over my head, and again I don't put them on the ground, but I try and maintain that contact, my lower back with the mat, and keep my muscles engaged, my core muscles engaged. And again I try and hold that for about a minute, and you can repeat that again 5 to 10 times depending on money and depending on what sort of time you have available. So they're the floor exercises that I do. Another set of exercises that I try and do are a version of squats. However, these are really painful with arthritic knees, and I don't get to do very many of these, and my knees crunch and creak as I'm doing them. But the theory is that if you use a chair, you can do it several ways. So either bending your knees down so that you're almost sitting and come back up again, or you can sit in the chair and use your arms to help, and you can come up and down with your arms helping you. That's easier and a good way to start. An alternative way to do it is to use the back of the chair as a support, and making sure that your knees don't bend inwards, to do a wide-legged squat and to engage the bottom and push up again, and using the chair to support you with your balance. And my knees are crunching and creaking away. So, as I said, I am about to have my surgery. It's Sunday today, and my surgery takes place on Thursday, and I will update you all with how I get on, and hopefully share some post-operative stories with you about how I'm progressing. So this is my bike on a device that allows you to cycle it in a stationary manner. It's really lovely February weather in the United Kingdom, and it's very wet and windy. It's in quite a low gear. There's enough resistance, but obviously you can change that as much as you need to. I think after the surgery I will need to have the seat raised a little bit so that my leg is fully extended and perhaps not quite as much flexion is needed to start with. But we will wait and see, and I will update you. Thank you for watching Dee's Knees, my journey to simultaneous bilateral total knee replacements. See you next time.